Debt Free TV, in association with GetOutOfDebtFree.org.
We've gone into town because I've gone to try and make a bit of money and get some food and that, you know what I mean. Come back, everybody's there trying to chuck water on. Some dirty gone along and set fire to it. We lost all our belongings at the tent, everything.
That's not
all your clothes, sleeping bags to the lot.
Yeah,
All we had was a rucksack.
That was just before we did Upsafe Winter now.
Yeah. Lost it all.
Right. Well, so down at this point here, that's one, it seems a bit intrusive because I was actually, well, I can't say threatened, but from my information informed that I've been operating illegal CCTV cameras from this shop, which were just put up there to make sure that you were safe outside. And so a lot of that
it's
has
not
happened.
illegal to record in public
No.
anybody
No,
or anything.
they were actually put there really to make sure if anything was happening, we had backup to see if this type of behaviour happened to
I've
homeless
actually
people.
looked into that. The only way it could be illegal is the ones what you can actually move with the joystick,
Oh, so you make it intrusive.
because then you've got to have the CCTV licence from the SIA. But
Right.
because the CCTV we was using is static, you can't really get anything done.
Well, say this man's.
If I'm streaming on this, do I need a CCTV license?
What's actually come from this footage though is it was 4 high definition cameras which were running and streaming live non-stop to make sure everybody was safe. Some of the things we weren't expecting was including watching those taxis try to run over the Thames, even watching a tornado rip up from the street, just watching the lives of people that seem to be forgotten over a period of Christmas. Well, the people who have seen it, they've been incredibly helpful. Groups have turned up literally cooking on the street, warm weather gear. This is something that Upsafe does anyway, supplying hats, coats, thermos flasks, for literally when you're desperate, that you know it's not coming from anywhere. It did bring a lot of community care out, and a lot of interested parties are now very conscious that they're not being told the whole truth about how many homeless there are. I've actually been informed, and I could be wrong, but it was through one of the correct networks, that there are actually 397, I think was a silly number, which were homeless. They were talking about people who said, well, they don't exist. These are the people that aren't able to sofa surf, borrow their mum's floor to sleep on. I mean, these are homeless people. There are even families like that as well. But the extreme level is there's nothing left for you at all. And the way that the behaviour, or I can't keep calling it arrogance, but the strength showing how important the council was, has been aggressive while not dealing with the issues. And so in the background, all of them have actually been housed because they don't really want to look like the bad guys. They have problems, logistics. They're actually very, very worried because the rest of the country is doing even worse things about homeless people. They do not exist at all. And they're worried, and I've seen it on the BBC as well, of an influx from other counties, including Nottinghamshire boroughs, because they're not putting any budget at all into there. What Framework is working with is very limited resources. They are having to use charities just to feed people because the resources aren't there.
Well, Framework's getting removed from a lot of cities. And
it has to do with the funding.
Yeah, it's to do with the funding.
And well,
there's a lot of counties what have been asking us to go up there and help them set up camps, which we're hoping to go on tour and do, depending on where we can get and how much donations we can get as well, because obviously Upsafe runs off donation.
Yeah.
So that's a hard challenge.
And how's your relationship with Framework? Because
Framework is a bit 50-50.
Right, got a job.
Yeah, they've got a job to do but don't like to finish it.
Alright, I still got a feeling this might be down to resources because if they start things, I've even heard of issues where people are stepping well over their job mark, and it's things like gyro checks and things haven't come through. And I know one particular offer says, don't worry, I know you're good for the money and I'll have to pay that for you out of my own pocket. There are human beings.
But I have noticed though, towards the end when we start to get the eviction on Camp 2, Framework have suddenly started to do a lot more work. Whether that's the council giving them the heads up to go, yeah, get them out so we can get them out of the way.
But either way, it's a positive, isn't it? So
yeah, but going back to Richard with his bully boy tactics.
Yeah, there are a few aggression issues, but he is employed to be, people have called him a gatekeeper, to stop you getting any further. But the first time I've actually come out this aggressive towards people.
He's also the licensing agency representative, because we had an issue where Tesco had a visit from Richard and a few others demanding that they didn't sell beer or alcoholic drinks to the homeless guys or staff on camp. Now, some of the homeless guys, won't say names, but they are alcohol dependent. So without the alcohol, they're going to be going straight into shock.
Why would someone take it that far? Are you sure that they've actually interfered by going in and telling particular shops that the homeless people out on the streets?
One instance, or I think it was 2 days after when we first moved to camp, me and Michelle went into Tesco's, and Michelle went and got a little puzzle book, or a little Sudoku, or crossword book. She went and got that, and I picked up 4 cheap cans of Tesco cider. Gone to the counter, put them on there. She took the book off, and then the manager come out, tapped me on the shoulder, turned round, and she took the cans off me. She said, "I can't serve you." I said, "Why is that?" She said, "You bought that camp out there." She said, "I get out your bar."
What the hell has that got to do with Tesco?
Well, exactly. We actually got the police on board after that, and they went into Tesco saying you cannot stop serving alcohol to anyone what's not causing an issue on your premises. If they don't appear to be under the influence or acting aggressively when they come into your store, why have you got the?
In that case, we should be doing something about Richard then, because he was certainly acting aggressively.
Well, these are the bits when you actually say using a gatekeeper. Can I just? I'm going to go back now to the actual camp. How many people have been housed?
I believe it's off the top of my head. I believe it's 19, but it could be 20
Right.
because there's one going through at the minute,
Well,
which I haven't had an update on.
so they've actually got them housed, but they're still trying to stress what type of power and authority. So today was the court case to remove.
Yeah.
Can you tell me if anything funny happened on that little court case? I believe it was courtroom 6 at the Crown Court today, where Mr. was waiting to go into court as well.
Well, what happened was they told us courtroom 6, so we all got down there ready for the trial, and obviously they'd done a quick one on us and done it at the magistrate's
But
court
surely
instead
Richard
of-
Allen was due to be in court.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
he
So
was-
where was he? Was he at the wrong court? Was he maybe like a professional decoy? Because there were other people interested who were sitting waiting with Richard to go into courtroom 6 at the Crown Court, as it was advertised and showed to be. But so it wasn't at Crown Court courtroom.
No,
was it?
it was at magistrates, which they told us Crown Court's on all the official documentation what they left with us.
Well, even Richard got it wrong, so I have to assume it was an error because he was sitting at the Crown Court. I was trying to find out which court to
I
go
wonder if he
to.
was a decoy.
But I wasn't quite
Have you
sure
noticed-
if it was Crown or Wimbledon tennis courts.
Clown Court, yeah, that's more like it. But the Magistrates Court is no longer the Magistrates Court now, it's called a Just Us Centre.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Justice Centre.
Just
Did I
Ice.
get that right the first time?
It's just
Just
ice.
Us.
Just ice.
Just Us Centre.
Just ice. So you see, there still seems to be lots of political games, but it's about not respect, because Nottingham has these things about respect, and we're here for you. It is a case of the illusion of authority, because with authority comes great responsibility. The responsibility is to the people of Nottingham, or well, I've got to say they believe it's just Nottingham. I believe it's to all people, and you don't need to be angry and aggressive to gain respect.
I'm just wondering if the local so-called authority, because the author wants you to believe every word that's written in the book, you know they are the criminal cartel just further down this road.
It's only money.
I wonder if they're going to kick out anybody from Nottingham that was born in another country.
Oh, now we're getting to immigration, aren't we? And
Yeah.
I didn't
new
mention that
issues
word.
and problems there, aren't
But
we?
what you were
Yeah.
talking about, guys, was earlier on that you were saying that your wife's from Derby and they wanted to send her back there. They
Back
keep
to
you in
Derby.
Nottingham. So anybody that's not from actual Nottingham or actually from England,
Mhm.
are they going to send them somewhere else as well?
Well, they actually
Are you
housed
local
a bunch
authority?
of
Are you?
refugees just before.
Planet
I'm
are they?
sorry,
Are they
they-
supposed to be our servants, aren't they? Public servants.
I count everybody who's here who has nowhere to live as a refugee. It doesn't matter how big the globe is, or if it's round or if it's flat.
Not looking
But
after us,
dealing-
are they?
No, and it's that problem is they probably understand that they cannot cope with the situation, but giving the illusion through authority, which they don't have, is the biggest problem. So a lot of the times when this paperwork has been issued to threat and to take people away from, the council actually doesn't use the correct paperwork. It causes a lot of problems. This is the first time that I've even been able to glance, shall we say, official court paperwork. And it's not uncommon. It doesn't just happen in these situations. Someone has to give the illusion that they're very powerful and very strong. You've got to ask why they need to do that. It's not about respect.
Why
But
should they have power?
It's not just about on the level where we can see where we can end up with absolutely nothing. There are situations at the moment where the police, councils, and I call it small government, are actually not doing the correct things because they're so big and powerful. And this is actually causing people to be evicted from their homes, any minor excuse, we'll end up in this type of situation. And if none of us care or none of us see this, then it won't be long before it's you. It doesn't matter if you've got your nice job and you're paying for your house, everything's going well. Apparently we're only 3 months away from eviction, even if you're paying for your mortgage. But it's not done in the correct way, it's not done with love, it's all about finance. So we've even had a nice little surprise with Tom Crawford's eviction, which again, no paperwork has ever been displayed because of this partnership. That it turns out that trying to prosecute people for bringing it to the media's attention, they were using trespass laws, but it wasn't trespass because it was still Tom and Sue's property. And right at the very beginning, they've always asked for the warrants, and they have never ever appeared.
Surprise.
So it's a case of you're okay while you're staying alive, and we're all trying to stay alive, and there are people better off and worse off than us, and it's how you empathise. If you can't see yourself ever run into any problems at all, then please come and help others.
Thank you.
That's it.
I will add also, they did do an eviction notice on us, which obviously the court case was today. But 2 days ago, they actually came down with an Antisocial Behaviour Act as well. So I'm kind of thinking we might have found a loophole in the grounds where we was.
No, it's not a loophole. The point is the council has its own. They look like police officers. Remember, they have no power.
Yeah.
They also use their own courts. Remember that their own courts, they have no power.
Yeah.
And they use even their own enforcement officers to collect the money. Again, it doesn't have the power of law. If everybody knew this, then there'll be lots of problems. They have to take away the rights of people so they can actually move people. If someone wants to push you around and do things and take your money, then they have to have a justified reason for it. The council needs to treat people as a commodity. So this little exercise has actually shown them that your commodity are actually living, breathing beings, sentient. Love, hate, all of that, but we are actually real, we are not paperwork. You cannot administer, and if you are to administer, you're going to need the permission of people. So think very carefully when someone jumps on you and starts telling you how much power they have. I have council officials or employees still coming to my house telling me I owe them money, and the BBC have asked me if I have a gripe against them. Going, I'm actually very disappointed. That's all I can say. Very disappointed. We come to the point where we've been physically, I could say abused, but attempting to scare them to move, to suit policy. This is the gentleman that has to answer these questions. I would still like to know who authorised the atrocious things which we have on camera to intimidate people who you believe were not homeless.
Oh dear, they've been evicted now, so I'll have
Right.
to shut off.
So we're going to have a look. Hopefully we'll bring you a bit of footage on that and take
Right,
it off
thanks,
again.
everybody.
Thanks
Well,
very much,
I was
Mr.
going to see what's
Spur.
going to happen.
It's
There'll
been
be
very
more
good to
police
see
down
you.
there and everything now.
Okay.
Pleasure. Make sure it's Cameron.
Right, cheers.
Thanks,
It
everyone.
continues on.
Thank you.
Right. Good luck with it.
Debt Free TV, in association with GetOutOfDebtFree.org.